Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I would like to share this lovely spring blanket pattern with you. You can make a baby size in about 5 hours. So let's take a look and see what we need to make this lovely crochet blanket. To make this blanket, I used Burnett blanket yarn in color Clary Sage, white, and planetary purple. It is a size 6 super bulky yarn, and along with that I used a 10mm crochet hook. So gather your supplies and let's get started. To begin, chain a multiple of 4 plus 3. To make a blanket that was 34 inches wide, I chained 71. For this video, I'll be making a small swatch and I'm going to chain 27, which is a multiple of 4 plus 3. I now have 27 chains. You should chain 71. Now let's begin row 1. Work a single crochet in the second chain from your hook. This is the first chain and this is the second. So into that, work a single crochet. Work a single crochet into the next chain. Chain 2. Skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and work a single crochet in the next 2 chains. Now again chain 2, skip 2 chains, and into the next 2 chains work a single crochet stitch. So this is the sequence: chain 2, skip 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 chains. Chain 2 again, skip 2, and 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Keep repeating that and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I'm now almost at the end of my row and I have 4 chains left. So I will make 2 chains, skip the next 2 chains and work a single crochet in the last 2 chains to end row 1. So that brings me to the end of row 1. Now to begin row 2, chain 3. These 3 chains will be our first double crochet stitch. Now turn your work and work a cluster chain 2 and a cluster in the next chain 2 space and each chain 2 space across. So let's see how to work a cluster. Yarn over, insert your hook into that chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, keep those 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, insert your hook into the same chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook to complete your first cluster. Move it a little to the side, chain 2, and 1 more cluster in the same chain 2 space. You can move your first cluster aside like that and start again. I'll show you one more time. This is how you work the cluster. Yarn over, insert your hook into the chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, keep the 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, insert your hook into the same chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook to complete your cluster. So you worked a cluster, chain 2 and a cluster into the first chain 2 space. Now we will work the same in every chain 2 space across all the way to the end. That is a cluster, chain 2 and one more cluster in the same chain 2 space. Now work the same in each of the chain 2 spaces across all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the last chain 2 space. I now have just one chain 2 space left. Let's work a cluster chain 2, a cluster into that chain 2 space together. And now to end this row, we will be working a double crochet on top of the very last stitch here. But as we work our last double crochet stitch, we will be joining the next color, which is white. To do that, start working your double crochet as usual by yarning over, inserting your hook into that last stitch right there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and when you have 2 loops left on your hook, yarn over the white color and pull through the last 2 loops to complete your double crochet. So that brings us to the end of row 2, and we have now joined the white color yarn. Now before we start working with the white yarn attached, move your sage color yarn to the right side. So you now just have your white to the left. Now chain 1 with the white color joint, turn your work, 1 single crochet in the first stitch right here, now chain 1, work 2 single crochet into the next chain 2 space, 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space. Now chain 2, work 2 single crochet into the next chain 2 space right here. So that is the sequence, chain 2 and working 2 single crochet into each of the chain 2 space across. Chain 2 again, work 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Keep working like that all the way to the end of your row. And after working 2 single crochet in the very last chain 2 space, chain 1 and 1 single crochet on top of that beginning chain 3 to end your row. Now to begin row 4, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This counts as a double crochet and chain 1. Now turn your work into the adjacent chain 1 space, work a single cluster. So you will only work a single cluster into the chain 1 space here. Now into each of the chain 2 spaces, work a cluster, chain 2, a cluster like we did in our second row. So into the chain 1 space you work only one cluster, but into the chain 2 spaces you will work a cluster, chain 2 and a cluster. Keep repeating that. That is a cluster, chain 2, a cluster into each chain 2 space across. Keep repeating that and I'll meet you at the end of the row when we have one chain 1 space left. I have now worked a cluster chain 2, a cluster into each of the chain 2 spaces left, and there is one chain 1 space that is left right before the last stitch. Into that I will work one cluster. And now chain 1 and work a triple on top of the last stitch while joining the next color, purple. So to do that, yarn over twice, insert your hook into that last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you have 2 loops left on your hook. Then take your next color and pull through the last 2 loops to complete this row. Now before you proceed with the new color joint, bring your white yarn to the right as well. So from now on you will be having 3 colors attached to your work at a time, and every time you join a new color you have to make sure that the new color is to your left while the other 2 colors are to the right and away from your area of work. Now to begin row 5, chain 1, turn your work, 1 single crochet into the first stitch, one single crochet into the adjacent chain 1 space right here. So insert your hook into that space and work another single crochet, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 2, 2 single crochet in the next chain 2 space, keep repeating that and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I have now worked 2 single crochet into the last chain 2 space. To end the row, chain 2 again and work a single crochet on top of this beginning chain right here. Work 1 single crochet on top of that chain and again into the next chain, work 1 more single crochet to end this row. So that brings us to the end of row 5. Now to begin row 6, which will be a repeat of row 2, chain 3, turn your work, and work a cluster chain 2, a cluster into each of the chain 2 spaces across. That is a cluster chain 2 and a cluster in each chain 2 space across. So row 5 is a repeat of row 2. I'm sorry, row 6 is a repeat of row 2. We are on our 6th row. Each stripe is made up of 2 rows each. So go ahead and work a cluster chain 2, a cluster in each of the chain 2 spaces across, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. I have now completed working a cluster, a chain 2 and a cluster into the very last chain 2 space. It's now time to end this row with a double crochet into the very last stitch right here. And while we work that stitch, we will be joining back the sage color, the very first stripe, from the very first stripe that we dropped. And so bring the sage color yarn to your left. We're going to join it now. So start working the double crochet into the last stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into that last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now when you have 2 loops left on your hook, take that green color yarn that you dropped, it's still attached to the first stripe, and keep it not too tight or not too loose, just right, and pull through the last 2 loops to join that green back. Shouldn't be too tight or too loose, and once we work the border around the blanket, it's going to be hidden. So we have now attached the green color back. You can now take your purple color and put it to the right. So keep your purple yarn to the right and your white is to the right as well, and you only have your working yarn to the left. To work the next row, you can just chain 1 with the new color joint, turn your work and repeat row 3. So from now on you will be repeating rows 3 to 6, and at the end of every cluster stitch row you will pick up the next color and start the stripe in a new color. So go ahead and repeat rows 3 to 6 until your blanket is 36 inches long and you end in a sage stripe. I'll meet you at the end of my last sage stripe and show you how to add the border. Once you're at the end of your very last sage stripe, we will work a double crochet stitch into the last single crochet, and while doing that we will join back the white color yarn to start working the border. So yarn over, insert your hook into that last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and when you have 2 loops left on your hook, take the white yarn that you dropped earlier and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook to complete your double crochet. You can now go ahead and cut the other 2 colors, that is the purple and the sage. We will just keep the white attached for working the border. Now to start working the border, chain 1 at the corner. Now start distributing single crochet stitches along this edge. We will work 3 single crochet across each stripe end. You won't have any stitches to work into, so you will just eyeball it and distribute 3 stitches across each stripe. And while working those stitches, you will take care to work around the tails that are being carried along the side. So work a single crochet, two single crochet, and one more single crochet. So we worked 3 single crochet across the first stripe. Now across the second purple stripe, we'll work another 3 single crochet stitches, and take care to work around these tails carried along the side. You can leave the free ones that we cut and we can weave those in later, but for the ones that are already attached to the side, you have to cover them. Check to make sure you have covered all of them. The loose ones are fine, we can do that later. But for the ones running along the side, make sure you have covered all of them. And keep working 3 single crochet stitches across each stripe. So distribute 3 single crochet stitches across each of the stripes and make sure you go around the yarn strands carried along the sides, and I'll show you how to proceed when you reach the corner. Once you are at your last stripe, work 3 single crochet across it to reach the corner. Work 2 more single crochet in the same corner. That will help you turn your work. Rotate your work like that. And now we'll work across this foundation chain side. Now work single crochet into the next 2 chains. 1 single crochet into each of those. Now under the next 2 double crochet stitches across these 2, work a single crochet 2 together or a single crochet decrease. To do that, pull up a loop in each of those spaces. Pull up a loop, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all the 3. Now into these 2 chains, work a single crochet each. Under the next 2 double crochet stitches, work a single crochet each. Into the next 2 chains, work 1 single crochet each. Under the next 2 stitches, work a single crochet 2 together. Pull up a loop in each of those. And when you have 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all the 3. Now 1 single crochet into the next 2 chains. One single crochet under the next 2 stitches. So this is the sequence you will repeat all the way to the end of this side and until you reach the corner. So I'll leave the repeat on screen. And work the repeat until you reach the next corner, and I'll show you how to proceed. I have now reached the corner and I will work 2 more single crochet into the corner. Rotate my work like that. And now I will work across this side. We only have 1 tail here and I'll work over that. And we will distribute 3 single crochet across each stripe like we did on the other side. And we will do that until we hit the next corner. So go ahead and distribute 3 single crochet stitches across each stripe, making sure to work over that single yarn tail there. I'm at my last stripe and I will work 3 single crochet across it. and at the corner I will work 2 more single crochet. I will rotate my work, and on top of each of the clusters I will work 1 single crochet, and into the chain 2 space between the clusters I will work 2 chains. So if you have 2 clusters at the beginning back to back, you will work 1 single crochet on top of each of it. Because when I worked 36 rows, I ended in this row where there is 1 cluster and then a cluster right after it. If that is the row you end in, then you will work a single crochet in this cluster, a single crochet in this cluster, and 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space. Since I did not work as many rows, I have this row where I have just 1 cluster and then a chain 2. So just remember, no matter which row you end with, you will work 1 single crochet on top of each of the clusters and 2 single crochet into the chain 2 spaces. So that's a single crochet on top of a cluster, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, single crochet on top of the cluster, single crochet on top of the cluster again, 2 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and keep repeating that. That is a single crochet on top of a cluster and 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space. You'll do this until you reach the corner, and you've worked on top of every cluster stitch and into every chain 2 space across. Now work 2 single crochet in the corner and slip stitch to the very first single crochet. And you can now fasten off. And weave in the tails that are left. And you will do that along the back of your work. So whatever yarn tails have already been woven in along the sides, like this one, you can just trim it off. And for the remaining ones, let's weave it in along the same color across the back of our blanket. To weave in the tails, thread it through a yarn needle and work your way down and up and down, in and out through the stitches, like that. And I like to go up through the cluster, in and out, and then come down and then go ahead and trim the yarn. You can do that with all the other tails left to clean up your blanket. And you will now have a lovely spring blanket.